Fantastic. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Shiatsu therapists all over the world, brothers and sisters and lovers. I'm so excited to have an amazing group with me this week. Uh, they look like the Marvel, it's like the superheroes of Shiatsu here, which is great. All the way from all over the world, from the Shiatsu Worldwide Resource created by the European Shiatsu Federation. I have here with me Antigone Segel, Segeli from Greece.
Yes.
Thank you. And I have Nikos Rosios from Greece also.
Hi, thank you, Michael.
I have Snezana Stoyeva from, it says UK, but you're Bulgarian, right?
Correct.
Fantastic. And VRL Mihai from Romania. And Chris McAllister. Well, you're kind of international, but you hide in Sweden.
I hide for the time being in Sweden. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Well, I'm so nice. So nice for you to join me. We're excited to share with the community your creation and the vision that started with Snezana Stoyeva from Bulgaria, and with this amazing team that put together something really special for the Shiatsu community. So, who would maybe we'll start with Snezana. Tell me about this vision, how it came about for you, and
Well, the vision started after a meeting of European Shiatsu Federation, and it was back in November 2020. And after the movement from you, Mikhail, and the talks with Kumiko and the work of Cliff Andrews, somehow it felt a good time to have in one place all the successful stories. The background was that when I was maybe second year student at Shiatsu College London, I wanted to work with care homes. And I tried to find information about research that will support my work with the care homes. And unfortunately, it was a really painful process, and I found only 2 posts. And I thought to myself, it will be so nice to have in one place everything. So when I go and talk with the decision makers, to have information that in fact Shiatsu works and there are other projects. So this was the beginning. And I would like to say that in fact this project is really Shiatsu without borders. Because the idea started from me, but the project as it is now is in fact a work of many people. Many of them are not in fact part of ESF yet. We had in the initial process talks with people from Holland. Also great support from friends and other visionaries like Fabienne Bastianelli. A lot of hearts were involved in this project. So here are the main people who put a lot of effort to make it happen. But as a vision, I think it's you need a really good number of souls that want something to happen to make it materialize in the way as it is as a reality. So yeah, I think this
amazing,
is the main thing.
The timing is was so good because when the pandemic hit, it's like everybody was shut down and everybody was at home, and I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to be shut down. And I saw such a need in our Shiatsu community even before the pandemic. But for whatever reason, that the pandemic just, it's like somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Okay, we have to we have to create a ripple in the community and start bringing the community together. And if we don't do it at this moment, we might lose an opportunity. And obviously, I wasn't the only one that felt that way. The other people felt the same thing. And what I've seen in the last 3 years has been incredible. And it's like a shiatsu renaissance again. And seeing this, I remember when Chris organized the Shiatsu European Federation organized that first global meditation. Remember, Chris?
Yeah.
And prior to the meditation, the night before, I had such a lucid dream, and the dream was about, I was brought to the Shiatsu family, and really it's a lone dream, but in a nutshell, the message was it's time to bring Shiatsu from the shadows and into the limelight. And this is really my biggest wish for Shiatsu is to have the limelight that it deserves. And having a project like this and others that are coming about is really the point. Uh, Chris, can you speak into that? What brought you to this project and vision?
I think it was exactly that global meditation that sparked the vision that Snezana then presented to us. And it seemed to me, exactly as you, the timing couldn't have been better. We had a kind of a captive audience, and there was a need for connection. So when she told me the idea, I thought, okay, that's been mentioned before. People have described that kind of thing, but not in the kind of detail that Snezana managed to create. And you'll see in the presentation in a minute, she managed to put it really succinctly in specific ideas that we then just followed. And the ESF board were like, okay, let's do it. Do we need some resources for this? So we did have very, very few resources, and we've been somehow able to make this happen. It's a lot of work, but Snezana keeps it going with an incredible pace, but also a steadiness, which is quite amazing, actually.
Great. And I know that they're not here with us today, but also Philippe Vanderbel.
Vandenabele.
Vandenabel, thank you. And Ivan Bell and Zvili Ori contributed to this project. So, we can talk about how they did or what they did. Now we can do it during the presentation. Should we get into the presentation or talk about this now?
Yeah, let's go into the presentation because that will come up in the presentation.
Okay, so sorry guys, I'll put it somewhere and it's not showing up now.
I will start with in the beginning, I had no idea that there will be 6 stages, and I was with the concept that this is something like a marathon. Not a marathon, but a sprint. And it turns out that in fact is a marathon. We are still in the stage 1 of something that I was thinking it will happen in 6 months and we will be ready. So I have to tell you that in my mind, the main idea was to have a database. And with this in mind, all the steps were already in my mind. And it turns out that, in fact, this concept is quite boring. So thanks to Viorel here and Antigone and Chris and other people, in fact, this website got a heart as well. And it became really good for the eyes. You could see how it built up. In fact, in the beginning, we were thinking only about posting information like a text. And Viorel came up with the idea, and why don't we organize interviews? Because it will be much more interactive and nice. So then Chris stepped up and start having the interviews. And I just tried to find the right people to present the project, and the community which was involved. At this stage, Philip van der Nabele was the first one who, in fact, suggested the first project with Richard Polacek. Yes. Maybe Viorel would like to take from there.
Yeah, Vera, come on and just talk about the design and the feel. It's so clean, it's so clear. There's such a nice flow to it, to the website.
Yes, it was very challenging in the beginning because we started from a pool of ideas, and we needed to find a way to make it readable and to be easy to be navigated. So we discussed a few ideas, and we came with a domain name. We chosen the Shiatsu Resources.net instead of the .com. We planned the social media, the video interviews format to have something to add for each story. So we have something that is meant something that the visitor could find exclusively on our website, because inevitably some of the projects that we were going to feature had been already featured somewhere else. So we wanted to have our take, our approach to be unique. So we wanted to provide our visitors. So we wanted to have the chance to ask our guests specific questions. Like, for example, Chris wanted to know, okay, you were successful in, for example, in reaching to medical doctors in hospitals. How did you do that? How did you get access? How did you maintain this relationship with the doctors? What was the feedback? So we kind of built from there, and from one interview to another, things got better along the way, and it was a good start, in my opinion.
Yes, it is. It is.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the work, Vera. So here's the I'm sharing the presentation Snezana has created. Do you want to go through it, Snezana?
You can see in the beginning, this is the original email with the presentation for European Shiatsu Federation when we invited a lot of people who, in our opinion, were passionate about Shiatsu, and eventually we wanted to engage. Initially, the idea was to have ambassadors and to have small groups of people who will be who will work locally with Shiatsu practitioners and gather information. Unfortunately, this happened only in Italy, and a big thank you to Susanna Castellani, Diego, Marco, and Rosalia, because they are the most active team, and we have already 4 stories from Italy. 2 are published. 1 is ready to become published in next week, and 1 interview is coming soon. So
fantastic. Yeah. I mean, this
yes.
is so. This is a collection of stories of Shiatsu practitioners, you know, working in medical settings, or you know, organizations.
All kind of fields where Shiatsu is recognized as a therapy or as a way to support the community and people with particular issues, but not only, also Shiatsu for empowering. From the beginning, the idea was that it is great to focus on solving problems, but we know that Shiatsu is much more. So
Yes.
some of the stories are about empowering people.
Got it.
Here is the 6-stage master
6
plan.
stages. Yes. So stage 1 is collect successful stories. You're doing it. Stage 2 to identify topics to share with the Shiatsu community. Organize Zoom meetings, and the Zoom meetings for
the Zoom meetings were about organizing focus groups after we know what are the most popular areas where Shiatsu supports, and after that to start talking with researchers.
Got it.
So the next step would be to people who have experience in particular areas to work with researchers. But this is a future plan.
Well, it's beautiful because there's already a team of Shiatsu researchers and a website with a lot of Shiatsu research on it. So that's a great plan. And then you create a Shiatsu database and run a global platform for support for Shiatsu practitioners. Fantastic. And when you say support, what besides research, what kind of support?
Well, the idea is to have a place where people could share their projects, their workshops, and also this database that now is building up thanks to Yvonne Bell and Sylvie and Philip van der Nabel, just to have one hub where people outside Shiatsu community could come and see what is going on, and to see that in fact Shiatsu has a real history, and that there are plenty of projects all over the world, in fact.
Yes, it's wonderful. I mean, we need a vehicle like this to promote all over the world, and for other therapists or the medical community to check out. And also, it sounds like it could be a great platform to recruit new Shiatsu therapists, right? Because you post in all the schools and associations across the world there too, right?
Currently, all the organizations that we found out, this is invitation, by the way, if you have a Shiatsu organization and it is not listed on the website, please contact us.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And how can the Shiatsu community promote this website? Because it can act as an amazing marketing tool too, right? So it'll be helpful if we have in a way campaigns or marketing campaigns to promote this website.
I think that it's a good idea, Nikos, to come into the conversation, because he also has a vision about how this could be expanded in the future from a technical and not only technical point of view.
Okay, Nikos, can you share that with us a little bit?
Yeah, well, I'm here for it because it was allow me first to say a few things how I got involved on all this project. It was a bit kind of accidental because I just from ESF guys I knew Antigone, and I knew her like back 20 years ago, so we haven't met all this time. And suddenly I just sent her a message. I wanted to do something, and she kind of said, okay, we have this project and we want to push it further, and we want your knowledge and so on and so forth. So then I got to know all this Snezana, first of all, and it was, I can say, like as if I knew all these people. It was a kind of open heart and open family for me. It was an invitation, so it was very much easy for me to say, okay, what is here? And then when I saw the website that was already made with efforts of VRL and Snezhana before, I said, okay, I can do something about it. And as a webmaster and computer programmer, so I could put on my skills and, you know.
Fantastic. Yeah, we all need somebody like you. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. So I shared my ideas when I saw the website, and I have to say that, you know, projects like this need a lot of support from outside, like let's say money, for, you know, things to happen and to grow and to expand, and, you know, helping the community and kind of creating an umbrella of people who work as a shiatsu therapist. And, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily be a profit company, but, you know, Creative Commons space, something like that, you know.
What I hear you saying is you need to, you know, generate some cash flow in order to expand this vision and possibly pay people, you know, to do it.
My discussions with Chris and all the ESF members and Snezhana were on this direction at the beginning. So I said, what I shared is like, we can help shiatsu practitioners, and shiatsu practitioners can help us.
Absolutely.
So it could be a mutual, you know, thing. So we win-win situation for everybody. We care. I love shiatsu. And whoever loves shiatsu could, you know, support this project and you know, give something, like even a small thing or whatever, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
VRL, can you talk about the logo?
It's been a long time. I was having many well, what is the word now? When it's coming back. I haven't seen these images in a while. I forgot how it was.
Yeah. So it's all coming back for you. Okay.
Yeah, it's all coming back. Yeah.
Well, we got this handsome guy here, and you know, he created this logo. So
actually, I have submitted a number of proposals, and the proposal that got accepted surprised me. Their choice surprised me completely, because this one I didn't like playing. It was not something that I have working elaborated on. I have other versions that were very much more worked on in details, and this was just a sketch, something I play with a brush, and somehow it remained in the document with my proposals, and it got accepted, and unanimously people liked it. So it would not have been my choice, but
you know, we Shiatsu
I'm
therapists
happy.
are simple people. You know, just brush it over, and we fine with it. You know.
Yes, I'm happy that the community likes it, and it's all that matters. So yes.
Beautiful.
Actually, it was decided by the 10 countries, 10 or
Yes.
9 countries, because
The
it
board,
was
the ESF board. Yes.
yes, the ESF board.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So there was a vote for it, and everybody decided on this one.
Yes, it was more or less all of us pick up this one. We liked it because it was more moving. It has the flowing.
As an energy, that's right.
Yes, the quality of moving.
It's like a watercolor. Has an Asian undertone to it, right? The S, the flow of that S.
Yeah. Now looking back and seeing these images again that have been out of my mind for so long, it brings back so many memories. It was actually a huge volume of work, And initially, when I came on board, it was supposed to be something that I would participate, like occasionally provide a few insights, consultancy, and it grew, and I got more and more involved, and eventually I decided that it's too much for me, because I was working on many other projects beside this, so I didn't want to affect the good going of the project. But it brings back many nice memories working with so many nice people in the ESF.
Beautiful. I mean, the stories that you've collected so far on the website, I've had many of them as guests. It's so nice to have one place, with interviews and for people, shiatsu therapists and the public, of course, to read and see, because some of this work is really incredible. Like some of the guests that I've had here, from Diego Sanchez. Have you had his stories yet on your website? Diego Sanchez working, during the pandemic, especially, in hospitals, on the medical team, and then on preterm babies, infants, and their mothers. I mean, what's going on in Belgium in the hospitals. I've had guests in Israel working with kids and cancer in hospital settings. I mean, those stories and what some of the shiatsu therapists in our community are doing are really incredible. And it's so nice to have a collection of those stories in one place, because I'm sure you're already getting a response from the community of saying how inspiring it is to read those stories, right? Any feedback from the community so far?
It's been quite varied, actually, Mikhail. We've noticed that I can't quite trace a pattern, but some of them go like crazy and some of them don't hit really the same chord. But the big one that really hit was the Greek project. They've been working in hospitals in a pain clinic.
Yes.
And that was Temis, who started, well, he kept that going. And that one went pretty viral, but the rest have been like successful, but not huge. You can see like the kind of things we've been doing there. So it's very varied what kind of places people have been working and what kind of things they've been treating. And that really shows you how incredibly effective shiatsu is in so many situations. You've got coma there, dementia, cancer, children, emergency situations, HIV, of course, the COVID projects with Diego and with the Hungarians, with Victor in charge there. So mental health down the bottom, pain management, it's all there. There's an enormous range of things that shiatsu can help with.
Incredible.
And some other that I wanted to add, if I can add here, it is for me, the usage that this database can have for everybody of us is like a tool that we can present it in the medical community. I did something last winter, and it was in a conference with 300, 400 doctors that it's in pain relief departments all over Greece. And I used all this information about different countries in Europe that shiatsu is in hospitals. So the doctors had a reference evident in their eyes that it's real, it's happening. It's not because we don't have research at the moment, besides this at Leeds, that it has happened. Chris, I don't remember which year. That's from the
2007.
Yeah, this research, the only research we have, that the doctors need medical based evidence research. We don't have anything else. So with this information, we can approach, I think, in a better way, the doctors, the hospitals, and make shiatsu presence more vivid and more real. And this is the next step and the next profit that I can see in this project, besides that we share and we got inspired, because it's very important, of course, in our days, it is the next step that this project has to have a research that we need money, of course, but you never know where it ends, where it goes, this. At least we have a very settled database that all the successful stories that are happening even now, we have it all together globally.
Agree.
And this
Now,
will bring more
yeah.
ideas among our communities.
Yeah, have a focus to it. Now, from that leads me to the question of when you did this interviews and you talked to those people, because as a Shiatsu practitioner, there's a lot of Shiatsu practitioners that want to work in those settings, but from their treatment room to go and knock on the door and apply and present, what was some of the common stories that you heard from the interviews, the ways of how they managed to get into those hospital settings?
It was almost always some kind of personal contact, Mikhail. Somebody who knew somebody. And then it's the question of making that phone call, making the suggestion, being a bit bold, having a little vision, and then persistence. You got to follow up. You got to follow up. You got to follow up. And then if you get the chance, you really got to step up. And then you need a couple people with you usually. Not always. Sometimes it's individuals, but you need to keep it going. So it's not a week, it's not 2 weeks, it's not 2 months. It's like 3 months, 6 months, a year, usually. Unless it's Nilsa, of course, working in earthquake situations in Puerto Rico. That was a one-off thing. But they still kept it going like weekend after weekend for like a couple of months. So there was amazing effort. So continuity is a really, really big part of it all.
It's true. When I had my integrative center, I had a client that worked in the hospital in the cardiology department, and she was a physical. Well, I think she was a trainer, and we were talking. She told me about how her specific team within the cardiology department had to raise money every year for that team to exist in that specific program that created by the head cardiologist, which surprised me because you think that they have so much money, but because the head cardiologist wanted to create this integrative team within the cardiology department, and it was something innovative that they got some funding, but they had to raise more. So when I heard that, I offered to help them raise the money. And she was so surprised, and she goes, "Well, let me talk to my lead, my manager, and I'll come back to you." And anyways, we got the green light, and I took my whole team to the hospital when the fundraiser happened, and we did that for 3 years.
Oof.
And then when you're there, so past patients come, of course the whole medical team is there, the families of those present and past patients are there, and others, and they get to see us, and we got to treat them. We offer them mini treatments, and then the head cardiologist will come by, introduce himself, always will say thank you. But after 3 years, they gave us the green light to come to the hospital. So I was the first non-medical person to come on a monthly basis, and we were not allowed to treat there, but we were allowed to educate. But that was a big thing, and I actually invited the whole team to my clinic, the whole integrative team in the cardiology department, and we had a nice exchange on what we heard from them, how overwhelmed they are, and how their biggest struggle with heart patients was pain management and anxiety and depression after those surgeries, right? And this is where shiatsu therapy can be so effective, right, as a complement. But you're right, Chris. You need to put in the time, and you need to be persistent. What were the roles of Ivan and Philippe were? Who wants to speak into that?
I would share. In fact, we invited Ivan and Philippe as an ambassadors of the project in a very early stage, even before the idea about the website. And slowly, after an interview with you, Mikhail, something that I recognize was the love of Philippe about books and the way he presented Ampukuzukai.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, it's not possible not to touch other people's hearts with somebody who has this attitude about his work.
Yes.
And this is how the idea about the book section came up. And we invited Yvonne and Philippe to join us. And in fact, the talk started back in December 2021. But this was around the time where VRL considered to leave the project, and Nikos came in March. So after that, there was a period of recreating the whole project from scratch. And that's why we had so much postponing of the two sections. In fact, this book section after that became two sections: Shiatsu Treasures, which is about the books before Second World War, and the book library, which is about books after the Second World War. And even though the idea was the vision was to have this book section, in fact, Yvonne Bell put enormous amount of work, almost 2 years, to list all the books. And after that, Sylvie joined and helped him with the database. And the current state is a really beautiful work of Nikos, Yvonne Bell, and Sylvie, because the idea in the beginning was just to have a database of books. And they manually put the covers of each book. They found descriptions, and it was a fascinating work. And now you can see the results.
Amazing. So they went and found the visual cover of every book and put a description to it. And how many books are there?
As far as I know, more than 700, maybe between 700 and 800 titles. Of course, these are in few languages, so some of the books are translation, but still it is a list of this enormous amount of books.
Incredible library. My God. Yes. Amazing work. Go ahead, Vira.
I was just wanted to say that this was the point when we were considering to add the books, the treasures, and the list of Shiatsu books published after World War. This was the time when I was starting to feel stronger that I was out of my capabilities, technical abilities, because this will need to run a database. So I want to extend my congratulations to Nikos for being able to put together this this database of the books. So amazing job.
Amazing job, Nikos. Thank you.
Thank you
very
guys.
much.
Thank you.
I mean, and the Shiatsu treasures, those old books are really precious. And some of them, you said some of them were translated, Snezana, or?
In fact, these are, we started with Ampukuzukai and with the first edition, which Philippe has
translated,
in his
yes.
home. And when I saw this book, I thought to myself, oh, it's, as a Shiatsu therapist, I haven't seen this copy. And for me, it was something very touching to reconnect with the roots of Shiatsu. And by the way, I want to mention something that Viorel didn't mention, but one of the reasons that we invited him to start working with us is his passion about the history of Shiatsu.
Yes, yes.
And in a way, he was the foundation, and also he's writing a book about the history of Shiatsu, and I hope that soon we will see this book because it's very important for the Shiatsu community.
Yeah, for the past 2 years, I couldn't write like anything. I just added information, and for the past 3 months, I found the way to structure the information I have gathered. I have traced the patterns, and I hope I will make a presentation soon.
Amazing.
Fantastic. We all look forward to it. That's great.
And for the Shiatsu treasures, you can see that the concept is evolving. We started first with videos without sound, just to get the feeling about the book. After that, we had one presentation just as a text. It is very important to mention that Philip put enormous amount of work as well to list where the Shiatsu therapist could see the electronic versions of the books from different libraries. So if somebody wants to access the book, they can go and check.
Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, so Shiatsu community, how can we support you guys? How can we support the Shiatsu Worldwide resources? What do you need from the community?
We need people to get involved. We need more stories. And we also need more people to share the work. So on their social media pages, and to just get involved really and spread it, because all the information's there, the resources are there, and now it's time to start using them. And Tigoni told us how she used it in a presentation to 300 doctors at a conference. That's serious work. She did a great job there. But everybody can do that kind of thing if they can see an opening. Check in. Check out the resources and start to filter what you need and what you don't need, and then use it as a tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a powerful tool, and people are looking for evidence and want to make sure that this therapy that we present is legitimate. And when we have so many stories to share, the work from all over the world, it makes it so. I mean, from a marketing point of view, just if every Shiatsu therapist even shared this website, and here in everything Shiatsu, we have 5,000 members here, you know, that could go viral, right? I think that's another thing that I see in our community. There's not enough what's the word again, marketing really of therapy out there, you know, to attract a new wave of Shiatsu therapists, right? Because we to survive, to grow. I don't want just to survive. I want Shiatsu to grow and flourish, but in order for that to happen, we always need to attract more and more people into it, and more people need to learn this therapy, and it's much needed these days more than ever.
Sure. One of the things we did recently is we recruited Joanne Faulkner, who you also had on your show, Mikhail, and she is an expert with social media.
Yes, she is.
So she's on our case now, but right now she's not promoting this as much as she's promoting the June Shiatsu Awareness Month, Shiatsu Without Borders.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, love to. The idea came a few years ago, and it's an old idea, of course, to put Shiatsu in focus. And the idea has been in all the European countries and probably a lot of countries throughout the world, but it kind of died down a little bit. It was only Austria who kept it going, and they turned it into Shiatsu Tage, Shiatsu Days. And it became like 4 or 5 days around a long weekend. They invited people mainly from Austria, but also from the neighboring countries to do short workshops. But also people got resources to go out in their communities. And they put adverts on buses, they put like moving, what's it called, marketing stuff out in the streets and stuff like that. So when we started these global meditations, the next part of that was, well, let's put it out there in the world and get people involved. So that's something people really could do now as we move into June. We've got a couple of events coming up. We've got the conference in Hungary, 16th to 18th of June, which is a fantastic opportunity for people to get to know 3 pretty important senses in Europe. We've got a dialogue coming up. In fact, it's a quintilogue because there's 5 people involved on the 4th of June. We're going to have Fanny Roch from France. We're going to have Yvonne Bell, also from France. We're going to have Victor Gulyás from Hungary, who's leading the Congress in Budapest. And Carola Beresford-Cook is turning up. So we've got like 4 key people turning up to share their ideas. And the ideas have to do with unity. But unity through diversity is what we're interested in. And I had a conversation with Demis, who's the Greek Shiatsu Association president right now. And we had a little talk there over a little bit of Sipuro, a little bit of Greek spirit last week. And he said, what do you mean by unity, Chris? Do you mean we all have to do the same thing? I said, no. We all do different things. We're diversity. But if we all work towards the same goal, that's power, right? And what we want to do is have everybody get a little bit more active, just a little bit more active, share a little bit more, come out a little bit more, get involved a little bit more, and connect with each other a little bit more. Boom. It'll grow massively. So you don't need to do much. It's not like everybody has to move boulders. Everybody just has to move a couple pebbles, and then the whole thing starts to roll.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look what's happening in Italy, right? The 3 associations created one federation, and I had them the three presidents at the few weeks ago, and
it's Susanna Castellani, right?
Yes, and they all said if the Italians can do it, anybody can do it, right?
Well, we've got the French people really happening at the moment, Mikhail. There's 4 federations, 4 associations in France, and they're combining to create a unified front during Shiatsu Without Borders June month. So it's a huge step for them.
That's a huge move, yeah.
Yeah, so we really want to congratulate them on that. But Shiatsu Professione, this Italian thing, is massive, really huge. And that's on the... Is that on the 15th of June? Anybody know?
15th.
Yeah, they're going to make a proclamation. They're going out. Hopefully the ESF will be involved in that somewhere. It's massive, actually. And it's just beautiful the way they can actually bring it together and look at how we resemble each other rather than how different we are from each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key that passed, right? Unity is the only way these days. Fantastic. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to add?
Using your personal
Yes, I would like to encourage people, just the active Shiatsu practitioners who have projects, to contact us so we can organize interviews. Because so far the process was to find people and invite them to present their projects. But hopefully at some point the practitioners will be more brave, and they will step up and show their work. And the other thing that I see is that we Shiatsu practitioners don't take pictures and don't document our work, because we are a lot involved into supporting people and not so much to promoting ourselves. So I would like to remind, when you organize these lovely projects supporting people, don't forget to take pictures. And after that, we will be able to tell the story and to present it to the rest of the world.
So true, so true. Thank you for that. Antigone, would you like to add something too?
At the moment, no. Just I'm thinking about this, what Chris said, that the only thing that we have to do is to be present with this unification in our community, because we tend to work by ourselves, isolated with our healing process, with our clients, and we forget many other things that we have to apply in these days that we act at this moment, because we need not the marketing with this mentality of marketing, but we have to show what we do. Also me, I say this like a reminding to myself. I forget. Maybe I do for some other people, but I don't do it about myself, about my work or about my things. So if we support each other, we can find a better communication, I would say. And one thing that I realized since I was president in Hellenic Shiatsu Society, I spoke once with a lawyer that we had to go there to find out about the regulation in Greece about the profession, Shiatsu profession. And he asked me how many you are. And I told him, okay, we are a very small community. We are 100 more or less only. Be united. Can you be united with other people from complementary? He said he was supporting this to all the complementary anyway about the Greece. But the more united we will be, the more powerful, the more empowered we will be. So we will have having our personal identity, character, whatever, but we will be more power. We will have more power in many
Absolutely.
different directions.
I mean, that's what they did in Switzerland, right? You know, the Shiatsu organizations collaborated and complemented other organizations, and eventually, because of that, because of the amount of people that were accepted by the government, right? So there's already a path that is shown that that's the way to go. Chris, when is the next time that we're doing that online meditation again? The global meditation.
That will be at the end of June. I think it's the 21st. Let me have just a quick look here. 25th. It's a Sunday. And do I have a time for you? Let's have a look. 25th of June. Looking at my old style diary here. We didn't set a time yet, so people have to look out for it. It'll be on social media all over the place, and it will be very much on your site there, Michael, everything Shiatsu. So, but the 4th of June is when the Quintilog is happening, and I'll be posting about that next week.
Fantastic. Excellent. Any other news that will go on the website, and any more projects that you guys are working on?
Yeah, we've got a really interesting one coming up. Laura, right? Snezana?
Yes, please.
Nikos just made that all ready for us. So we're going to go out with that this week. And Laura did an amazing piece of work. And she's like this beautiful linking thing that links up all these different areas. She's involved with the Professione Shiatsu. She's got a great relationship with the medical staff she worked with. And she is this kind of person that moves in between the federation, the associations in Italy. So she's a mover and shaker, and a lot of power in that woman, I can tell you. It looks really, really good. So that story is coming out in the week. We did the interview a while back, and that's all ready to go. And we have another one from Italy, right, Snezana? Lorenzo? Who's done some amazing work. And that just happened completely organically. Somebody contacted him, and this happened, and that happened, and that thing just grew around his treatments, even though he was barely qualified as a practitioner at the time, which just goes to show that you don't need to be a practitioner with 30 years experience to make something happen. Yes. Beginner's mind can take you deep into a process. And if the right people are looking, get ready, you're going to have a lot of work to do.
Amazing. So what is the process for someone to contact the organization on a project that they're doing?
Well, they get in touch with Snezana, basically.
Okay. So Snezana is the contact person.
Yes, usually the process is the practitioners, either I'm contacting them or they contacted us through the form of the website. And after that, we send them intake form where they could write down in short the details about the project. We ask about pictures. And after that, we are organizing an interview with Chris. There is so post-production process where we upload the information on the website, and Nikos help us with the video. And after that comes the publication of the story. By the way, if somebody would like to engage with our project and they're really good in social media and PR, it will be great to have a new member of the team.
Fantastic. So social media and PR.
Yes.
Okay. So everybody out there in the community, you heard that, and let's support this organization. They're giving a lot of their time, blood, sweat, and tears for the community, and they're doing it for free. You know, and this is such a great platform for all of us on so many levels. So let's, as Chris said, just do a little bit more than our day-to-day, just a little more effort into promoting this, a little more effort into contributing. And we have your back. We have now organizations that have your back. You're not alone. You know, the mentors, the people to reach out, the projects. I haven't, every time that I needed to reach out to any therapist in the last 20 years, I've never had a negative response. Everybody is so available. So as Antigone said, yes, we are alone doing our therapy, and it can be quite isolating, but it doesn't have to be that way, especially these days with these platforms. So just a little bit more, a little more connected to this community, and add your flavor into it. Be inspired, be motivated, and contribute in whatever way you can, from sharing the posts, from sharing the projects that are going on, to reaching out and sharing your particular project, or just starting new collaborations. This is what it's about. So I want to thank the group here. Yes, Mia.
Yes, nice to meet you all. I just have one question. Is there anybody who's been working with doula, with following women through birth and giving them shiatsu afterwards?
Oh yeah, Suzanne Yates has a few books around that, and she teaches nurses and midwives and doulas all over the world. And
Is she in England?
She's in England, yeah. So if you go on our website, Well Mother, if I remember correctly, you would see not only her but other certified teachers all over Europe and the world.
Yes, we also had conversations with Alexandra Gently. So maybe soon we will have some stories about shiatsu and pregnancy and post-birth support.
Fantastic. Anybody else wants to add before we wrap things up? Anybody here that has joined us?
Yes, and perhaps me?
Yeah, Nikos, go ahead.
Yes, perhaps we forgot to ask people to support us, also donate to this project. We are, we welcome people to help in every aspect or whatever possibility they have. So we have to cover expenses, we hosting this project becomes bigger and bigger. So it needs, more energy, more resources. So whoever can.
We need some money. And if every therapist put what is it, 10 euros? And we
that's right.
5,000 members on everything shiatsu. That's a lot of euros.
That's right. And I have also proposed to the ESF, but it's already now on a draft thing. So I won't say much about it, but we can give something to the shiatsu therapists who want to donate to us, and we can offer them something back. So it will not be just one side, but we can always give them something back so their work can be benefited.
Well, I mean, you're giving a lot on this website. You're giving a lot. Yeah, I think that's loud and clear. So let's support, let's donate, and it's on the website. There's a donation button, or is it set up?
Right now I'm working on mechanisms for the people to to be easy for anybody to just donate some money, because it was I have to always find the modern ways. There was nothing there before, so slowly I will build up this mechanism for people to, but for now they can just donate to the ESF. If they go to the ESF website, there's a donate button there. There are details about bank accounts, so they can actually help us with money and keep the project running.
Money is chi, and let's put some chi back into
this. That's right.
Nikos, you just want to tell us the ESF website, its name?
European Shiatsu Federation.eu.
There it is, folks.
Yeah, we'll post that in. Well, thank you, guys.
One more question.
Yes,
sorry about that.
No problem.
If
yes,
of Shiatsu.
Sorry, we lost you there. Can you repeat that?
I said, if we have other books to show about Shiatsu, shall we send you the picture?
So did you hear that question, Snezana? Maybe you can answer that.
Yes, in the Shiatsu books library, there is a form where you can fill in the information about the book and upload the title and the cover. And yes, we encourage people to help us to collect more books. If you see that there is a book that hasn't been published on the website, please contact us, and in this way we will be able to create even a better library.
Fantastic. Does that satisfy you, Mia?
Well, I suppose I have to contact Shezana. Is that
Snezana? Yes, Mia.
You're very welcome to contact me.
Thank you very much. Well, and I want to highlight Snezana, for your vision and holding this vision, holding this light, and a group of bandits together. And
thank you, Mikhail. I want to add that this project won't be possible without Antigone and Chris and everybody involved, Viorel, Nikos, Yvonne, and Philippe. So it's not only.
Of course, but somebody had to have the vision and hold it. So I wanna highlight that. Thank you.
Duty.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We love you, and thank you for all your work. Have a good evening there in Europe, and good afternoon, and wherever you are, and we'll see you again.
Thank you, Michael, for everything.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Ciao.